I am about to do the unthinkable, which is to apply a powder foundation to dry, mature skin. I haven't worn a powder foundation in forever. I think the last one I wore, which was technically a powder foundation, was MAC Studio Fix back in the 90s. You all know it and loved it. Yet to find one for my skin at this point in my life, at my age, at 55, that looks halfway decent. Jane Iredale were so kind to send me one, their new one. It's a mineral pressed powder. It's also a sunblock, a natural sunblock, which I love. So I thought I am gonna try this out and see what happens, and I'm gonna try it with you in real time so we can see how it goes. They also sent me a primer. I'm not usually a primer girl either. However, this is a brightening primer. So I do like to use a brightening primer sometimes to give, there it is, a little bit of an extra glow to the skin. And I thought, since they sent this to me, it must work really nicely with the powder foundation. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm just kind of putting it on the high points of the face, not every single spot. That's really pretty and glowy. Okay, I fixed my brows a little bit. So I did them at 8 o'clock this morning. It's now about 5:30. I did brows and just mascara this morning. It's this beautiful kabuki brush. If you don't know, a kabuki brush is flat on top and it's perfect for applying a powder foundation. It picks up a nice amount of product. So I'm gonna be really conservative about this and get the powder on the brush. And then I'm gonna really tap to get all that excess off. Let's start over here, just in case I put on too much and then not everyone will see it. Okay. Okay. I'm liking so far. It's not looking heavy. You hear Jackie meowing? That's my little man, Jack. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, this brush is barely touching my skin. I'm going in circular motion, so there's no like streaks of powder. I want a really like natural application. Oh wow, this is really pretty. Okay, so first impressions, what I like is that this is a semi-matte finish. I can't do matte anymore at this point in the game. Starting over here, that way if there's too much powder, I don't have it in the center of my face. It's kind of out in the outskirts. It's giving me nice coverage. See the difference here? It's semi-matte, it's not like a full matte. So there's still a little bit of glow coming through, which is everything to me. It's also giving me nice, I would say medium coverage. You could definitely build this up to a full if you wanted, because I'm using the lightest dusting of it. Well, not that I don't need full coverage. I don't like full coverage. The forehead is where I have the most texture. Let's see how this, oh, I started right in the center. That was a mistake. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, okay. So it's also where I probably have the most hyperpigmentation. So let's see how this guy does over here. I'm gonna do the perimeter first. Again, brush is barely touching my face so as to apply the lightest coating of this. You can use it as a concealer as well. So I'm going to do that under the eyes, but I think that this brush is too big for that. Techniques concealer brush. See how I'm tapping almost all of it out? Now I'm going to stipple it on, which means I'm going to do little taps. And by stippling a product as opposed to swiping, when you stipple, you apply a little bit more of it, so it will give you greater coverage. And because I want, you know, I have some darkness under there, well, that is nice coverage. Let's build it up a little. Okay, always in here. You always want to get this right here. That brightens up the whole eye area. Okay. Now, my discoloration is here, so I'm not going crazy out here with it. I don't need to. I don't have a lot of discoloration over there. And the more with the product here, it's going to magnify any fine lines I have there. So I'm keeping it right in here. Stipple over those and add a little bit of coverage there if I wanted to. Now let's see how other products work on top of it. Since it is a powder formula, I'm not going to go in with liquids on top. If I wanted to do my liquid gel cream blush, which I often do, I would have done that first and worked the powder around it. Bare Minerals blush. I'm going to go with a big fluffy brush. Again, I always tap off my excess. Oh, again, I do my barely touching the face circular motion. I'm going right there on the cheekbone, bringing it up a little bit to give my face a little bit of a lift. My friend Ryan told me to do this instead of right on the apples of the cheeks, which I used to always do, and he was like, try this because this will lift your face a little bit more. And I don't know, I always kind of hesitated to do that because to me it always felt a little dated, a little 80s. But really, what's wrong with that at this point? It's just that I actually grew up in the 80s, so it felt weird to me. But it is really pretty, and it definitely gives more of a lift. So thanks, Rye. One of my old faves, NARS. I have like barely mascara on and no eyeshadow or no liner even. And honestly, where am I going? I mean, I'm taking my son to a drum lesson. Oh, I almost forgot. They also sent me this beautiful mist, which I tried, which I applied before my moisturizer. It's a hydrating mist. You can use it before your moisturizer. You can use it to set the powder, which I'm going to do. And it not only sets the powder, it's nice to use a hydrating spray on top of a powder to kind of bring down the mattification. The only thing about this that the only note I would make to Jane Iredale is that I would have preferred a little bit more of a mist. It is a mist, but it's a little strong. It's a little strong. Kind of hits you in the face. However, yeah, you see, this is what I was saying. It makes it a little bit less matte and a little bit more dewy. Beautiful. I really like this. This is a good multi-purpose product. But yeah, this, I gotta say, let me look at my magnifying mirror. Okay, so I did the unthinkable, which is to apply a powder foundation on top of dry, mature, or older, or whatever you want to say, skin. And this is really lovely. And what I also like about a powder foundation, it's so easy. There's no mess. There's no liquid that you have to wipe off your hands. This is lovely. And I'm very grateful to Jane Iredale for sending these products to me and for making this, because this is a nice, easy thing to use to kind of even out your complexion, is what I'm trying to say. So thank you, Jane Iredale. I love it. I love it, and I highly recommend it.